Hello, everybody. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you guys for supporting my blog and my Facebook page for the last few months. I started The Average Guys Outdoors to give back to the outdoor community and to try to affect some positive change and to affect some positive attitudes more than anything, and to get some family and friendship back into our community that we seem to be lacking so much. There's a lot of arguing and infighting going on, and it seems to be a lot to do with this guy right here, the white-tailed deer. If you're not shooting a trophy one like this every year, it seems that you're not thought of as a hunter, and the deer hunting sucks and blah, 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 blah. Trophy status for me is a very personal thing. This guy's not going to make any books, but every time I look at him, I smile, and it's because of the memories up here in my head and in my heart. I hunted with friends that year. He's actually a Kansas buck that I took, I think, 4 years ago now. And what we had to go through to get that deer was 3 days of single digit temperatures, 40+ mile-an-hour winds where I never left the field. And you're not going to hide a 260-pound guy like me in Kansas behind a little bitty bush, that's for sure. So I dropped him at 80 yards on the third day, and I couldn't be happier, and that's why he's on the wall. And it's a personal trophy for me. When I'm dead and gone, he's not a trophy, he's a stuffed head on the wall. The only thing that makes it a trophy is how I view it, and it's really not how you guys view it either. Yes, he's a beautiful animal. If you look behind me here, there's also some South African taxidermy that I have from a trip that I took a couple years ago with a friend. A trip of a lifetime for sure. Probably never get a chance to do it. I was surprised to be asked and honored to be a matter of fact. But none of these guys back here are trophies by any measurement standards. They're trophies once again because of what I have up here. The wildebeest you see behind is probably, I don't know, the equivalent of an 8-point or something like that. Let's see if you can see the impala. That impala, there he is, probably about the same, you know. But the reason they're on the wall is because it's a memory to me, and the memory of the trip, and the memory of time spent with good friends. One of the things that I learned in South Africa is how fortunate we are here in the state of Michigan to have public hunting. There is no such real thing of public hunting grounds in South Africa or many countries around the world. It's just not there. If you want to hunt, you go down and you just, whether you're from out of country or in country, you go down to the local office and you get a tag, and that allows you to hunt. And then you make arrangements with the landowner to purchase one of these guys from them. And that's how you hunt there. So there's no game area that you can walk out to. I'm very fortunate where I live. There's probably within a half-hour's drive, there's at least 4 or 5 different game areas that I can pack up my rifle or whatever, or my bow, and walk out to and go deer hunting or squirrel hunting or whatever I want to do. There's just not that opportunities everywhere you go. So we should feel very fortunate to have those opportunities here. You hear a lot about how Michigan hunting sucks and how the DNR is out to get us. Well, I don't think the DNR is out to get us. You know, you have to remember this Department of Natural Resources, not the Department of the Deer Herd. They have a very large job. They are charged with managing the great state of Michigan's resources comprehensively for everything, not just deer. They have to take into account, yes, wolves, yes, bear, things that maybe we don't necessarily like coyotes. It's all necessary for a balanced ecosystem. We may not agree with it, but unless you want to go to school for that amount of time and make that your job, then maybe you ought to think twice about giving them a bunch of grief about it. I know enough of them and I know enough about them to know that you're not going to do that job without having some amount of passion for it, because it's not like they're making millions being a conservation officer or a wildlife biologist. It's just not the fact. They have passion for their job and they want to do it right. The comparison is also made that, well, you know, why can't we be, this is a Kansas deer, and Iowa deer are probably the same, if not a little bit better. Why can't we be more like Kansas and Iowa? You know, if we didn't shoot any bucks for 3 or 4 years, something like that, it wouldn't take long, we'd all shoot bucks. Well, number one, not all of us are in it for bucks. And number two, I'd be glad to do that. But there's going to be one more thing that's going to happen before Michigan hunters can experience the same thing that Iowa or Kansas do. And that's for every 5 of you guys that are watching this video, 3 of you are going to have to stop hunting in Michigan. The fact of the matter is that I think in 2014 we had somewhere over in the neighborhood of 600,000 hunters, I think. I've seen different facts, but I know it's a lot. I know that we're number 2 only to Pennsylvania as far as the number of hunters. Iowa, I think, might have had 200,000, so somewhere in the neighborhood of a third like that. And I know they get a lot of outer standards. I don't know how that all accounts to it, but they have a lot more open land out there to hunt. You're comparing apples to oranges. Yes, we can make Michigan hunting better, and we will make Michigan hunting. It's gotten better since I started. It's not going to get better by people infighting and putting each other down. So that's what we need to stop. I think that the Michigan hunting will continue to get better. Probably in my lifetime, we might even see it approach somewhere in the neighborhood of Kansas or Iowa. Not sure. I hope my kids get to see it, and I hope yours do too. And I hope that somehow through my webpage and through my blog that we can start affecting a little bit more of a positive change and a positive attitude in our community. So that being said, I hope you all have a great 2016, and I thank you for your continued support. From now, this is T-Bone. I'm out.